Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. Today is December month. I'm going to talk about a trip which I'm going to partake. So it's going to be a 1 week trip to Cameron Highlands, then I will go to Ipoh and subsequently to Pangkor, and of course drive back in between. So in this trip I'll be taking my X5, the F15 X5 which I bought a couple months ago. I'm going to take the car to get the rear brake pads replaced because it's left about 30% if not mistaken. So I just want to get that sorted out since I'm going to outstation. I just want to have a peace in mind. So the second thing is I'm going to take my car to get some recoding done. There are certain codings that I mostly done by myself, but unfortunately after taking my car for BMW in Quill Automotive, they reprogrammed the car again. So a lot of things I have set has been back to default, but those mostly I've recoded back except for my iDrive. So I'm going to get that done because I want to have the in-car motion so my two rear screen can watch some movies, especially for the kids. And my kids have bought some DVDs they want to play during the trip so they won't get bored. So yeah, I'm going to get that sorted out because I'm unable to code using my Beamer code. And the thing is, if I need to code it, I need to get the ECS cable and not need to download a lot of software, and that will take a lot of time. And since this is already a December month, I don't want to waste that time. I just want to get it sorted out as fast as possible. And of course I also want to have the iDrive 6 light on my screen because the iDrive 6 they have active tiles which I wanted during the drive. And of course I also use Waze lah. So most of the time I will use Waze in concurrent with the BMW navigation system because I like the way it projects the augmented reality on the road on my heads-up display. I like it a lot. So it gives very clear information on where and which road I should take because I don't want to 100% rely on Waze. I think everybody knows Waze may lose connection to the GPS and keep rerouting if it does. So it can be very irritating, and most importantly if there's any overhead bridge or something like that, Waze can be quite confusing. So I'm going to share with you my itinerary trip to Cameron Highland. If you have a very good suggestion, please do share in the comment below so I can read and maybe I add it to my itinerary. So as far as it goes, I'm going to read it. I'm going to start my journey, of course, obviously in my house in USJ. So I will start to depart in the 5 in the morning. I will take a 2 hours drive and I will stop at this Wing Fat coffee shop. Not mistaken, it's in Tapa to have a breakfast. So I will start at 5 and I will arrive around 7 o'clock. So about 8 o'clock, after we have our stomach filled and more rejuvenated, then I will go to the Lata Iskandar waterfall. That is about a 33 minutes drive and I should arrive in between 8:30 in the morning. So we're going to have a morning swim there. Hopefully it doesn't rain so we can have a much more enjoyable time for the kids, especially the kids. Of course I will dip myself into the waterfall as well. Bear in mind I'm going to record the entire journey also, so I will post in this channel as well. We're going to spend about 2 hours in the waterfall area before we will depart to this Highland Prairie Farm, bee farm and strawberry farm. This is located in the Tanah Rata side, Ringlet. We should reach there in 43 minutes. Probably we'll buy some honey and maybe some strawberries and maybe take a look at the sceneries, record the journey, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. Then subsequently we will go to this Cameron Valley Tea House. We're going to stop there just for tea time. It will be around 8 minutes drive only from the bee farm and the strawberry farm. So we reach there about 11:40. Going to spend some time there, probably about half an hour or 45 minutes to take a rest and enjoy the scenery. Subsequently, we're going to travel to the KHM Strawberries and Jam. Not sure what it is, but I've already checked all these locations. So far, they have quite a good review. There's a reason why I really shortlisted those places for part of the journey. So to reach KMM Strawberries from the Cameron Tea House will be around 13 minutes. Subsequently, we will go to the Sisters Chi food stall. This is where we plan to have our lunch. I hope this will be a nice area to have lunch. If you have any suggestion, do tell me. I probably can change my itinerary. I probably scratch it off and replace something else. After that, we're going to the Cactus Point in Brinchang. It's about 6 minute drive from the Sisters food stall. I'm not into cactus, but my daughter and my wife are into plants. So yeah, there's a reason why we have so many pit stops in between. Then of course from 2 o'clock we depart, we go to the EQ Strawberry Farm. This is about a minute away only. We have a pit stop there as well. And then opposite the EQ Strawberry Farm we have the Raju Hill Strawberry Farm. So we just walk directly opposite. We will spend some time there. Afternoon, we're going to check in. I'm not going to tell you which apartment because I don't want to be stalked. Because there's a lot of amenities close by in walking distance to this apartment which I rented. That's the reason why I choose this spot. It's quite central. I can go down to have a coffee. There's a nice cafe there. There's a shopping mall there. And also they have lots of other places to visit, the point of interest, which are also close by in this area. So after we check in, likely we will walk around the area. Will be quite random. Likely we just wander around, enjoy the weather, and hopefully it doesn't rain. Please don't rain, please don't rain. So the kids and myself, and including my wife, will have a much more enjoyable evening at Cameron Highlands. So we likely go to one of the restaurants that we may consider having our dinner and lunch. And we might even do our own, like this hot pot on our own, since you can easily buy vegetable on the ground floor. They have a lot of vegetable farms. You just buy and pick, and then we just bring up to our apartment and we just do a whole hot pot at the apartment itself. For the next day, we might go to this Watercress Valley to have our dinner. That's one of the shortlisted place, or this Tian Yuan. There's a Chinese name which I can't read. But if the first day we have this steamboat at our apartment, then we will probably pick one of them to go for the next day dinner. And for lunch, probably we might consider this Ao Pong Wan village style home cooked noodles. Not sure whether it's good, but looking for the pictures and people's review seems to be okay lah. Tea time, very obvious, we're going to the Bo Tea Center to enjoy the scenery and most importantly enjoy the tea farm there. It's good for the kids. I brought the kids there many years ago when they are very young. Pretty much they forget everything about it. So now even my oldest daughter is 19, the youngest one 15. They will likely remember this more clearly than previously when I took them to Cameron Highlands. Yeah, at Berinchang itself, we have lots of POI to go to. We're going to Rose Center, Yi Feng Ju Bee Farm, O&R Garden, Butterfly Garden, 188 Vegetable Farm, Key Farm, Vegetable Farm. Then on top of that, we also have the Colour Farm, Lavender Garden, Rose Valley, Cameron Tingkap Bee Farm, 7 Strawberry Farm, and Howard Farm. Yeah, these are the few shortlisted areas. So there are more than 10 POI that I've shortlisted. So on the third day, which will be the last day of our Cameron trip, of course, we're going to depart at 12 p.m. Then I'm going to drive about 30 minutes and stop at the last strawberry center. Maybe pick some strawberries or just to enjoy the view. Right opposite, we have the Greenview Garden, because so that is just directly opposite. We just walk across and we may buy something, we may not. Typical tourist type of busybody, maybe window shopping. We're going to depart at 12:15 p.m. We're going to go to Lubuk Timah Fall. Now this is a hot spring. Now we're going to stop there for about an hour to enjoy the hot spring. My children actually been to a hot spring before, but like I said again, there was many years ago. At that time they are very little. They have no memories or recollection of whatsoever. That's the reason why I decided to take this trip and bring them to relive the memory again, and hopefully this time they'll remember. Hopefully they get a good memory, and in the future they may bring their children, and of course hopefully they bring me together, so like at that time. So we're going to spend 1 hour there after the hot spring. Then we're going to Little White Coffee. This will be at Ipoh already. So we're going to have a lunch there. After the 1 hour lunch, we're going to check in to the homestay at Jalan Yusof. Yeah, we're going to enjoy the city life in Ipoh. It's been many years since I go to Ipoh, and my kids as well. In fact, my daughter never been to Ipoh. So this is probably her first time. Obviously, my daughter never go, my sons never go before. So this is the first time for them to go to Ipoh, and I'm going to take them around the Ipoh town and enjoy the Ipoh city life and probably the nightlife of Ipoh, bring them to makan. As for Ipoh, the must-see place that I shortlisted is of course the Hong Keng Square, the Panglima Lane, maybe going to Ipoh Upside Down World, the Concubine Lane. These are more or less like a tourist attraction area. Of course, there will be other areas I haven't decided yet, because Ipoh is such a big place. So maybe going to one of the caves. We haven't shortlisted what type of caves, because I don't want to drive too far out of Ipoh town. So I want to keep the journey short, and so we don't have to travel so much, because the next day we're going to travel to Lumut, and I don't want to be overstressed the children, and also I don't want to overload myself also in terms of the traveling. Hopefully within the close proximity, of course, we'll go to all the authentic Ipoh white coffee, so we can have a pure feel of the original white coffee. Of course, there are some other POIs maybe you guys can suggest. Maybe it's not listed in the Google or something like that. Then yeah, that's about it. Initially I plan to go to Lost World of Tambon, so maybe we're going to do it the next time. So because this is only a short 2-day 1-night trip in Ipoh, so more or less it's a pit stop, then we will go to the Lumut. So subsequent next day, once we check out around 12 o'clock, we're going to the McDonald's at this Sri Iskandar. This is at Mukim in Perak, and I'm going to stop there just to have lunch. So once we have our lunch over, then we will travel to the Lumut jetty and park my X5 there. We're going to take the ferry to the Pangkor island. We're going to check in around 3 o'clock. So my resort will be at this Pasir Bongak. So there's many resorts there. I really list down most of the POI point of interest which I'm going to go. So for the food, we're going to visit like Dan Dan Cafe, Boon Po Coffee Shop, PIP Pangkor Island Cafe, Guan Sing Coffee, and there's one stall selling tofu, but it's written in Chinese which I can't read. Yeah, there's a lot of POI like the Dashford, Star Island Water Sport, Tortoise Bay, Teluk Nipa Beach, Pantai Pasir Giam, Pantai Tasik Dalam, Teluk Dalam, Lookout Point, which is one of the POI that most tourists miss. And then probably we're going to buy fish satay, which is at this Hai Sing Hin, and maybe another one will be Beng Guan Marine Product. Yeah, these are the two who will be on the west side. Is more on the Chinese kampong. And dinner we may consider the Pangkor seafood cuisine, which I think had got a good review. If you have any good suggestion, do tell me, so that I don't bang my head and try to look for good restaurants to eat. Hopefully cheap lah, pang lang jang lah. In other words, cheap and good. If you have those, if you don't have, then no choice lah. Good definitely is more expensive, obviously. So I've said that 2 days 3 nights. Then obviously I'm going to come back, and towards the back I'm going to use the East Coast Drive Expressway, which is a new road. Likely I will pit stop at Sekinjan, maybe just check around the area, have a tea time or a short break there before I head back to my home at Subang Jaya. So these are the summary of what I'm going to do. Do wait and check out for the full tour video, which I'm going to record it in part by part, so it won't be too long. And I'm going to break it, like for one session will be at Cameron Highland, next session will be at Ipoh, and subsequently Pangkor Island, and the last one will be the trip traveling back to Subang Jaya. So if you enjoy those type of video, do subscribe to my channel and click on to the notification bell below here, so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. So I'll be using my X5 to travel. This is my first time using my X5 through an outstation trip. I hope it doesn't break down. Please don't break down. The trip not only involve myself, involve my entire family, and I don't want to spoil the vacation for them just because the X5 broke down halfway. That's about it. See you guys in my next video. Bye bye.